Bonjour. Well, my first kind of introduction to Paris Opera was by Rudolf Nureyev. He asked me to dance his Sleeping Beauty, and it was in 1989, or I think it's 88 even. So I came to learn Sleeping Beauty. It's have to say, it wasn't really easy because now knowing Rudolf Nureyev choreography, it's all the time difficult. So I remember was many, how to say, the funny moments because Rudolf wanted to me be completely en dehors, complete turnout. And that's it's his choreography, and I was asking him to be a little bit patient with me because I just done the Spartacus, so I cannot be immediately on the oar. So we had the fun, and I rehearsed with Zhenya Polyakov and Rudolf himself, and my partner was Isabelle Guérin. But then something happened. Its company went on strike, so I didn't perform. So, but then Rudolf insisted again, and so next year I arrived and I danced with Paris Opera. That was my first introduction. That's how I become kind of, say, known in Paris Opera. The next was the Milipier asked me to be a guest teacher. So I came to do for 2 weeks class. And after that, I saw Aurélie, and Aurélie thought maybe we can have a little talk, a little chat. We had a little talk, a little chat, but then it took a couple years before it comes to live arrangement. So she invited me to do the guest teaching again, and at the same time rehearsing Swan Lake with the étoiles. Not everyone, but certain cast. It was Germaine and Léonore Boulac and Germaine Louvet. And after that, she said that she would like me to be with the company as a maître de ballet. Of course, yeah, I was, I don't know if it would be appropriate to say no. Even I have some other plans. I was agreed to, of course, to come to Paris Opera. So, and so far, really, honestly, I do enjoy my time with dancers. And most of the time I'm working with the étoiles and solists. And that's what actually maître de ballet does, but plus to working with the corps de ballet as well. But I am most of the time with the solist, and I mean, it's such a pleasure to work with so talented people. Very talented people. The people who know they are talented, they know it's enormous base they have, but at the same time they're actually listening, at the same time they're actually understanding, at the same time they're trying to do what I ask them to do, or suggesting what need to be done. So I'm having good time. I hope they're having good time too. Very good, guys. Très bien. Straight away, before we do you feel comfortable just now walking here? Because your position was not what usually the walk.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because when Paul turned you, you feels like you.
Before now.
Yes, some I don't know. It's not you, not comfortable.
Like this?
Yeah, just.
Est-ce que je t'ai gardé un peu
Maybe,
comme ça?
maybe, that's what. Yeah.
Du coup, ça fait ça.
Yeah.
Ok.
So
D'accord,
not,
je vais laisser,
don't use your right arm.
ouais. En fait, juste que je fasse ça, je te laisse te passer.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Ok.
première variation. What happened?
Yeah.
I felt like we lost a little bit when you go the feel of the back, body. What's happened? You literally turn on your place, and when you do with your back, you actually moving slightly differently. It's like your back is taking you around. So be careful with it. Yeah, that's the feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I started as a guest with Paris Opera in 2019. It was January. So after that, really invite me. So from August, I become the maître de ballet of the company, and literally that's a part of contract, 4 months, and then it's kind of 4 months checking you through, and then if you not do anything bad, so then after 4 months you become a permanent member of the company, and it's until I don't know, until I would say I cannot do it anymore. That's the contract. For dancers, this is 22 years. For us, I think the most of the maîtres de ballets here in Paris Opera, they are from the company. So they are, well, say for example, there's a maître de ballet older than me, Fabrice Bourgeois, he ex-étoiles, and he's a professor, he's everything, and he's continue being maître de ballet, rehearsing with the corps de ballet and soloist and everything. So life is very active here. The biggest difference in being working in Paris Opera, it's me. It's not the dancers are dancers. They have their own characters. I need to understand those characters. I need to understand what they actually need, and sometimes it's helping, sometimes it's not, but it's me who need to find the difference in me in how I'm introducing my corrections and how I'm trying to help them. So I find it in a way there is no big difference. The dancers are the dancers, and they need help. And in Paris Opera, I think every maître de ballet can come and say the correction to anybody. So, and then dancers would have to listen anyway. So, that kind of way. But as well, at the same time, I would say, because I'm my culture, because of my base, and because where I come from, the working with the Bolshoi Ballet and working with Royal Ballet, that makes my experience very important for this company. Because I think already few times said it to me, you need to sometimes even show dancers how can it be done. Because the expressions on stage is very important too. Not just, sometimes we know there's clean dancing, but sometimes it's not enough of expression of that role or that role or that role. So I think my role, how I understand, my role in Paris Opera is to bring something different, something not what dancers used to, because most of the dancers comes from Paris Opera School. It's completely different education than Bolshoi Ballet School, and completely different education than Royal Ballet School. So I think I'm having fun, because I'm learning from them how the corrections should go, but at the same time introducing the, say in a way, Russian way, say in a pas de deux, how it should be working, in preparation to the jumps, even for ladies. So, and I find it's kind of 90% it's working, because it's not what they used to, and it's help them understand their bodies even better. Because what's happening? No, because what's happening? The first one, you doing And when you're landing, you continue kind of your face is that way. And maybe that's what it makes your position. This. The second one, you like this. You're looking absolutely different way. The difference in preparation is like in every school. They say, for example, glissade assemblée. When it's a small jump, we're using floor. When it's a big jump, there is something else need to be happening. It's not only just grand battement, say glissade assemblée, or glissade grand jeté, for example. So, in order to do jump higher, I'm always suggesting to do the last step before the jump. That's how I've been taught in Russia. Last step before the jump, the biggest step. Say glissade could be small, and last step before you're pushing off the floor, the step is enormous. And that's what it makes to fly, because there's a plie, there's a grand battement, and there's a push automatically, because the step is so far. It must be controlled. So that's what it makes dancers, male dancers or even female dancers to adapt and understand. When I first time arrived here, I'm sure it's like, it's again, it's like in every company, like it was in English National Ballet, like it was in Royal Ballet. When I came from Bolshoi Ballet, they were studying me, even though before Aurélie invited me concretely, I mean, we signed the contract, there was a talk with the dancers. She cannot, that's the kind of maybe equity or union rules, she cannot really, how to say, she would like to invite, she's inviting and it's basta, finished. No, the dancers have to say it about it. So she had a meeting with dancers, and dancers were very happy for me to join the company, because for them it is very important if they understood me, or if it's my character kind of, or my classes suits what they want. Sometimes not everybody likes everything, so that's where with dancers I had no problem. When I arrived as already a member of the company, with dancers had no problem. Maybe it's a problem with a little bit of language, because of course, even though the vocabulary, our vocabulary, it's ballet vocabulary, it's French, but still having corrections in the French, that's where the little situation happens. But the staff, in a way, I think they've been checking me more than dancers. Well, naturally, because how I would react to such conversation, how I would react to such correction for me, how to work with dancers. So eventually, I think I find it it's good. Of course, there's not everybody, it's impossible to have everybody happy, but I would say 90% of people, staff and dancers are happy with me. And I try to make sure everybody's understand me. That's the most important. I try to adapt myself for them. Right? Like I think it's a part of me. It's a part of my education. I need to adapt, not they need to adapt to me. Yes, I was invited to be here, so I need to understand them rather than they need to understand me. I know who I am. I know what I can do. There's no secret for me, but the dancers and members of the staff, they need to know what I'm capable of, how I'm making this work. So I think we're slowly getting there. We're friends. I'm a Tartar. I'm not Russian, and a Tartar has I'm always give this example, everybody knows who's Rudolf Nureyev, and Rudolf Nureyev is a Tartar, and almost 99% of people knows who's Rudolf Nureyev, and particularly in the ballet world. And when you say, I'm like Rudolf Nureyev, Tartar, everybody understood what it is. But sometimes I'm putting a little bit more kind of, say, fun into it. I said sauce Tartar or steak Tartar, so then it's people kind of have little association, but that's for fun, just for fun. So Tartar people actually is a very small nation. During Soviet Union, we were atomic republic. We were in the middle of Russia. It's a one night train journey from Moscow to Kazan, my hometown. It's a capital of Tartar people. Now it's called Tatarstan, not Tajikistan, or it's all in Russia. It's all Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Tartars people, it's called Tatarstan. So, and this country is very rich. This country is very rich with oil, with gas, with all the coal, with all the needs for the life, good life. So that's why Tartars are become quicker independent themselves, because the oil is very important for everyone. So they cannot be put down as a small nation. Difference in big difference in history of, say, Tartars and Russians. Tartars are actually Muslims. We are Muslims, and before the revolution, our October Revolution, Tartars spoke Arabic. They wrote Arabic. I met a few people in Kazan where they were fighting for keeping Arabic language in Kazan, in Tatar people, but they would not been able, so they went into gulags and prisons and survived that and continue talking about that. So before we spoke Arabic, before my time, of course. But now it's completely different language anyway. So, for example, I can give you examples so you can understand the complete difference. For example, if we would say in Russian, "I love you," in Russian would be "Я тебя люблю." The sound "Я тебя люблю." In Tartar language would be "Min seni yaratam." It's completely different, the sound, different letters, different, the alphabet, because of socialism. Alphabet turns into kind of look like Russian, but making sure that still Tartar language exists there. So that's what it is, and most of the artistic, it's so many artistic people comes from Tartar nation. There's so many composers, so many singers, so many dancers. I know them, they're around the world. I remember I came to San Francisco with Bolshoi Ballet. There was an enormous group of Tartar people who greeted us and with the presents, and so they were. The Tartars are everywhere, like Russians are everywhere too. So that's what it is, and I would say that's maybe a little bit of what's in my blood is well helped me to become ballet dancer, helped me to understand the dance, because I started dancing when I was I think 3. For me it was my way of expressing myself. So that's the. And when I met first time Rudolf Nureyev, it was incredible knowing that's a legendary dancer, as well the Tartar. So that was one of the highlights of my career, meeting Rudolf Nureyev. I danced with Bolshoi for 9 years. Grigorovich invited me to Bolshoi in 1981 after Moscow International Competition, where I received Grand Prix. But the most interesting thing that when we finished school 3 years before, the rule of Bolshoi theater, same like in, I think, in the past Paris Opera as well, they would take it, most of the dancers from school. And that those who are Muscovite would go first into the company. And then whatever place is left, it comes from outside, but not just any dancer. So dancers have to be something really, really special. So when I finished school, I wasn't been taken to Bolshoi Ballet, and I joined the Moscow Classical Ballet, which is Kasatkina, Vasilyev directors, and I worked there for 3 years as a solist immediately. Fortunately, well, fortunately for me, but unfortunately for, I don't know, for others, I didn't dance corps de ballet. I never been in corps de ballet, so I don't know how it's actually corps de ballet works. Well, I know, but physically, I never standing with the I don't know, prop and waited until my time to move. It never happened that. I've always been solist there. And after competition, I joined Grigorovich invited me to Bolshoi and gave me to do my first performance of Spartacus. But some most interesting thing that those classmates from school who were Muscovites, they came to Bolshoi Ballet as a corps de ballet. They have to. They have to be in a corps de ballet, like here in the Paris Opera. You join the company, you become quadrille, and you stay until the concours, but Paris Opera is different. But in Bolshoi, for certain years, you have to be in a corps de ballet. We had the one class mate, his name Alexei Fadeyev, which is, he is the son of Nikolai Fadeyev, one of the greatest dancers in Bolshoi in the 20th century. So when I came, he's still in corps de ballet, but I become principal of Bolshoi Ballet, and it was literally, it's made my day again. So because I couldn't join the Bolshoi Ballet as a member of corps de ballet, but I joined the Bolshoi Ballet as a principal dancer. That was an amazing little easy touch on top of the cake, easy cherry, nice sweet. So there you go. So 9 years of Bolshoi, and then it starts perestroika, and then it's life was before perestroika incredible. I become Irek Mukhamedov. My name become well known in the ballet world, thanks to Grigorovich, thanks to his repertoire. But came perestroika where how to softly saying we start criticizing everything what it's possible to criticize. There was no moment in the life or on the street where you cannot criticize. You can criticize anything. So same was in Bolshoi. They start criticizing everything what Grigorovich doing, what he's sitting on 2 chairs and ballet master, ballet director. So it's not good. It needs to be different. So eventually it's become more political rather than artistic. So and Grigorovich understanding that life become more difficult. So he is organizing his own small group of dancers or small company. But I am the only principal of Bolshoi Ballet, the only male dancer who's dancing his ballets. I'm his dancer, but I didn't know anything about it. So I understood at the end, after all, how to say, all this slowly, how to say, the storms inside, I understood actually I don't need it to be anymore in Bolshoi. And thanks to Masha, she became pregnant. In a way, again. But everything came together at this particular point. Masha was married before. I was married before. We divorced our husband and wife. We become together. We married. But those who divorced whom we divorced, they will never give us chance to live normally. They would be all the time on our necks. That's the Soviet Union. That's the life of how to say those who how to say live because we Masha as well was very good dancer in Bolshoi. She's always been soloist, and I'm a principal. So our life, when we become together, become even more easier in a way as artists. So for those whom we divorced, it would be very difficult to let go. So, and Masha is pregnant, and Grigorovich making his own company. And I understanding if I will stay there, that's my kind of anticipation, how to, the prediction of me being in Bolshoi. I understood if I'll continue staying there, I would end up or alcoholic, or I'll be thrown away, or something they will made up so that I cannot dance anymore, or I would not be able to dance because I'm a man of Grigorovich. So it gave me an idea, and again, because of perestroika, at 1 little % of perestroika, I could say that's one of the best thing happened, because with perestroika, so many companies suddenly appear who can make it the passport to go abroad. Before it was in Soviet Union, there was only one company, it's called Goskoncert, who will do your passport to go abroad. That's what in Russia happens. You cannot travel with the same passport. You have to have a passport for traveling abroad. So they give you this passport, you travel, you come back, you give this passport back, they give you Soviet passport back into your hands. So these companies organize doing this passport. So I found this small company. I asked them organize my own tour and organize the passport. So they organized a passport for me and for Masha. And before that, I kind of again anticipated. I spoke with the Royal Ballet through translator. And because as well I had to, I supposed to be doing Bayadère as a guest with Altynaya Selmuratova there. And I suggest what if I become a resident. So Royal Ballet was agreed immediately. And I believe eventually when I came there, I met Kenneth MacMillan. I believe that Kenneth MacMillan was the person who pushed into that decision without hesitation to me become the member of the company. So, and Royal Ballet organized everything. I had my private tournée. I went to Austria, dance Apollo first, and then with the Vienna Opera. Then I went to Helsinki, dance gala there, and with Helsinki Ballet, I went to Spain to do the gala with Helsinki Ballet. So from Spain, Royal Ballet bought us tickets. We arrived to 1st of June. We arrived London, and I understood this is the end of the Soviet Union, beginning of new life. That's how it happened. 1st of June, we start living in London. My own company, I organized this company in 1991. And why I organized that? Because, I arrived to Royal Ballet when I was already 30. So I understood, again, probably I need to, as I did, I learned a lot from Royal Ballet. I learned a lot from Anthony Dow. I learned a lot from Kenneth, and I understood that there is a lot of talented people in the company, and they had to be in the corps de ballet for a very long time. For example, Mara Galeazzi. She stayed in the corps de ballet for 5 years before she started giving the roles and moving, progressing into principal star of Royal Ballet. So what I felt that it's not only would give me chance to dance a little bit different and little bit more, the galas and little productions, different productions, but as well to give chance to those dancers who I see have a talent. For example, like Alina Kochakaru, she arrived, she's not become immediately étoile of Bolshoi or Royal Ballet, mixed everything, the star of Royal Ballet. So she was in the Corps de Ballet. So I invite her to my company to perform the Dream Pas de Deux. So that's where it's actually more about that. And I find it that I could take responsibility. I could take, I could have in my mind how program should be working, what could be done better, who can dance what. So looking at this talent and thinking which dancer do what. And we traveled a lot, and we stopped our company in 1998. That was we stopped with that because it's become a little bit too many things. I become my own guest dancer around the world as well. So I was in Chile, well, literally danced everywhere. So that's what this company was, and actually this company gave me the little base for, I understood I can be a director, I can take responsibility, I can be, how to say, the leader in a way. So, and that's why I was directing a couple companies, audition for other companies where I've not been taking in, but that's how everything I find it in my life. Everything helped me to get where I am now, because I have to say the ballet career, it's very short, and to be able at the end of my ballet career to come to Paris Opera, to the highest house in the whole ballet world, it's incredible. I'm very superstitious, and I'm sometimes very afraid to, not very afraid, I'm afraid to name it as it is, because I try to avoid that, how to say, the word sometimes my children been saying that, you jinxed it, you jinxed it. So I'm afraid of doing that. So because I'm superstitious, because of Soviet Union traditions, because of Soviet Union life, because of life in Soviet Union, that's where we all superstitious. I think 99% Soviet people who were in Soviet Union, born in Soviet Union, they're all superstitious. And particularly when you become ballet dancer, it's even more. So there's a certain things being superstitious. It's certain things, first time where you come on stage, for example. Doesn't matter whatever you do, first time, first step on stage, where it happens. You cannot put, there's a plenty. I don't know if I would say that if you're superstitious, you have to follow that. You cannot have a keys on the table. You cannot put new shoes on the table. So there are lots of stuff. That's already mine. For example, I had to wake up. When I wake up, I had to put my left foot first before I do right. That comes from Soviet Union. I don't know why, but it happens that way. So I cannot get rid of that. It have to be happen that way. So, and that's why probably I sleep all the time on the left side of bed. That's why it's natural kind of progression to that. So, so it's a lot, and I think it's in England as well. You cannot walk under the ladder and all that, but I cannot walk under anything. So I'm just walking, not when it's scaffolding. I cannot. I mean, I'm just avoiding that. I'm avoiding scaffolding. I walk on the road, even if there's cars. I just walk on the road. So. My memories of my life, of my career on stage, it's so, I would say, that's what it gives me the rights to speak with dancers, rights to give them corrections, understand them as well. And sometimes I do kind of having thoughts, what would I do if I would be able to continue dancing? Which performance would be that performance? And for me, in my career, I learned and I understood so much of Kenneth MacMillan. I felt like Kenneth MacMillan understands me too. And it's, I've done it that. I did in 2014 my last, no, 2004, my last performance of Marling. And if I would be able to do that, I would come back to Marling of Kenneth, and it would be Royal Ballet stage. That's where my association, I felt like I found my choreographer, the person who actually not only understood me, he liberated me. He gave me the freedom of expressing how I felt, and he never been on, no, that's not right. It's always been my wings were absolutely spread, and I knew Kenneth understood me, and I understood him. When, for example, Kenneth said to me, Judas Tree, I immediately understand what Kenneth wants. When he understood Winter Dreams, Three Sisters, I understood, I mean, like even less than a second, I understood what Vershinin is. Because we learned this at school, because we know what it is, we know Chekhov, boring Chekhov. And I felt that with the Marling, with Manon, with different drama, there's a lot of ballet which is I danced by choreographed by Kenneth. I felt that I'm living that roles, I'm living that people. It's my characters, it's my life there on stage. I become more actor than I ever been with the Kenneth's ballet, and that's why it's for example, dancing those roles. I've been invited to do musicals, I've been invited to do in the movies, I've been invited to do the TV shows, because they saw in me I can be an actor, I can do acting too. So by doing the Kenneth ballet, I understood I prefer real drama, I prefer true story, I prefer real blood on stage, I prefer to make sure that people are not going with the smile. They would smile when they remember the performance, but during the show, I don't want them smile. I want them cry with me. I want them to feel my pain. They would remember my pain, and that's what's happening. I think I believe if I would come back to at some point to London and would walk on the streets, I loved that in London. I loved it. It doesn't make my ego bigger. I just love that situation where people will come to you they would come to me on the street and said, we remember your performances, we remember all your performances at Royal Ballet. Most of the time they will remind me that I danced Spartacus, but that's okay too. But they would remember the older roles in Royal Ballet, and I enjoy the life. And now that's experiences of Royal Ballet, that's experiences of being dancing Kenneth, and understanding the role deeper than need to be probably. I actually have enormous experience to speak with dancers about it. So, for example, next season we'll do Marling here in Paris Opera, and we're doing Manon next season. So it will be great if I would be working with those ballets.